Hey, what it do, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again on this Friday, end of the week, guys. As time progresses, we're heading into summer. It's getting hot out. Um, Cowboys have just wrapped up mini camp and OTAs and things of that nature. So it's a lot of things that are happening, and we're getting closer and closer to the season, which means more football. Things are opening up. They're gonna have fans in the stands for the season this year, so things are starting to come back to some type of normalcy. Thank you. Um, as far as the Cowboys go, though, like I said, they just ended their mini camp. Coach McCarthy gave them the last day off for their mini camp. I assume that it's because he saw what he wanted to see for right now. There are some guys with lingering issues, like injuries and things of that nature, that's been held out a little bit, and he felt that the team has worked hard enough for them to garnish a day of team building exercises. So basically, they did team building events on that day, which I thought was a really smart thing to do because all that does is create more confidence within the team. It creates more camaraderie, more chemistry within these players, and things of that nature. We talked about that year when the Eagles had the so called dream team. Y'all remember that? The reason why they failed as a team that year was because they didn't have chemistry. They didn't bond together. It was too many I's and not enough we's. So when you look at this Dallas Cowboys team, more than anything outside of the talent on this team, you look at the fact that these players love to be around each other. You hear the same thing that everybody says in their interviews when they're getting talked to by the media. Oh, we love this coaching staff, this and that. We love the direction that we're going in. We're doing this, we're doing that. These young guys are gonna go through a wall for these coaches right now, and I just feel that there's a new and better vibe within this organization, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. I really am. Now, um, as far as the minicamp goes, so this is the last organized activity that the Cowboys will be having until everybody meets up in training camp in Oxnard. So we know the schedule. They're going to be late July with that. So the veterans have been released. So they're going to be on their own until training camp in late July. Now, those players that are still in rehab, like Dak and Blake Jarwin, Amari Cooper, those guys are still going to be around here and there, like I said, for their treatments and stuff, meeting with the strength and conditioning staff, things of that nature. Now, another thing, we know in training camp that we heard that they're going to be doing joint practices with the Rams. I'm actually excited to see that. Just we know there's probably going to be some scuffles, so we know what that's like. Now, Cowboys do play in the Hall of Fame game this year, which was postponed from last year, playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, and I believe that we played the Arizona Cardinals twice, one in preseason, one in regular season. So that's going to be interesting as well. A lot of people talk about how easy the schedule is and things of that nature. So when you look at, see, they're just looking, see, this is why I hate talking heads because they don't look at the whole situation. They look at from the aspect of the teams that the Cowboys are playing. A lot of them didn't go to the playoffs last year. Okay, whatever, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to go this year, or that doesn't mean that they got better this year. Because I believe the Cowboys are going to be much better this year than they were last year. So you can't base last year off of this year. So I think one, I think that's a stupid narrative. Two, um, idiot. These it's just crazy. It's just crazy the way they think. Um, Two, the way the schedule was made, with them traveling a lot and things of that nature, having that Thanksgiving jumbled games where it's like 3 games in like 11 days or some shit like that. Uh, they're not looking at that. They're not looking at how much of that travel time and those away games are affecting the players in the team. They don't think like that. They just think of, oh well, this team didn't play well, so I think that they got an easy one there, and then they're looking at this team and they're easy there, and they just the way they talk is just like, do you have a damn brain in your head? I don't understand it. But anyway, nonetheless, I'm excited and optimistic on what I'm seeing with these players. I understand it is just mini camp and they're in t-shirts and helmets and things of that nature. But what excites me is the fact that these guys are excited. They're all there and accounted for. They know that they were 6-10 last year. They know what they got to do to get better. Dak Prescott knows what he has to do to get this team and rally the troops back together. But the thing that makes me excited is just the simple fact that they're out there together doing it, and they look like they're having fun. It's not like how we had when we had Don Terry Poe and Everson Griffin, guys that didn't want to be here, and I understand why they didn't, because primarily of Mike Nolan. Randy Gregory revealed that he was slighted by some of the coaching staff last year, which makes sense why some of his playing time was snatched. So, but again, these guys love who they're playing for now. We always talk about everybody keeps not giving Dan Quinn his credit, but a lot of players in this league love Dan Quinn. And, having him as your D coordinator definitely helps, because it not only draws defensive players to your team, but it almost is like the respect is there, and that's what you need. Now, we already talked about we don't need the Cowboys to be top 10 in defense. We just need them to move from the 28th position that they were in, 28th, 29th, whatever position they were in last year. We needed that to get better. Now, if that moves down into the 20th, 19th best, I'm cool with that, because that means you're still making the stops that you need to make, and your offense is already going to be dynamic. I'm going to read off a couple of names that I guess were standouts in the minicamp practices. So first, Osa Odigizua. One thing about Osa, his athleticism, you know what I'm saying, and the fact that him playing that 3 tech position and playing with bursts right there. So we talked about this defensive line and how lackluster it was last year, and how they were letting teams run all up and down on them, and they weren't even touching the guy till he got to the second level. I don't think that's going to happen this year. Second one is Francis Bernard. Francis Bernard, big special teams guy on this team, hella important position for him. And just the fact that he's taking opportunities of these starting reps when they're kicking the veterans to the curb, just to see what the rookies can do. Or not the rookie, he's not a rookie, but you know what I mean, like the younger guys. And we know that Francis Bernard is going to make this team primarily because of special teams. But if he keeps playing like that, if he keeps making plays and in these camp practices and things like that, he's definitely going to warrant himself at least a little bit of playing time on defense as well, because we do want to see that. I want to see it as well. Garrett Gilbert, we talked about Garrett Gilbert. And I said in my last live stream, I said, look, I would love to see Garrett Gilbert play. Not play, you know what I mean? Because Dak's our quarterback. But I liked what I saw in a small capacity from him in that Pittsburgh game. And looking at him in practices, in OTAs and minicamp, throwing the ball with accuracy, throwing darts to Michael Gallup, throwing touchdown passes to Noah Brown. So he's creating a rapport with these starting wide receivers on this team. So, which is a good thing, because Lord and behold, if something happens to Dak, he could come in and do what he needs to do. Now, he's pretty much in the driver's seat right now for that backup quarterback position, and I'm rooting for him. I want to see GG win. Next one is Neville Gallimore. Neville Gallimore played well last year, but a lot of these second-year guys are benefiting now from the fact that they're actually having an OTA. So it's almost like last year's rookies are this year's rookie 2. So they're like rookie 2. And I think that, I don't know if they're considered, I guess you're considered a veteran after your first year. But in my opinion, I think that all the second-year players, everybody who was drafted last year, or a first-year player for the Cowboys. So basically, if this is your second-year period, you should be out there with the rookies. I believe that. I believe that they should do that just off of the strength that they didn't have that time before, and they need to utilize every chance they get right now to get better because they missed it last year. Even Trayvon Diggs said he still feels like a rookie because he missed all that time, and they're loving the fact that they got a chance to work with the team in the offseason. That's huge. Next one is Dorrance Armstrong. He made a couple of plays in team drills and things of that nature. Went up against Terrence Steele on a play and got what would have been a sack. Now, I don't know what Dorrance Armstrong's place is on this defensive line, but he better step it up as well himself because there's young guys breathing down his neck like Chauncey Golson. Speaking of Chauncey Golson, he's one of those guys that stepped up in practice and things of that nature. So he had a sack as well. Well, would have been a sack because they're not tackling, but you know what I mean. J-Ron Curse. I'm going to say him and both Israel Mukamu, however you say his name. Both of those guys look like basketball players, right? We talked about that. But they did a good job in these practices playing against the tight ends and things of that nature, getting in coverage. When was the last time we had safeties on this team or a cornerback that can, check a tight end or anything like that, or just a DB period that can check a tight end? We haven't had that many, and a lot of teams don't have that many because checking a tight end is a hard thing to do. But when you got these young guys and you got them for the humble off the cheap, and they're showing strides that they can go up against tight ends, why not? And then the last one is Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard, we saw, and everybody's been talking about that. Oh, he's lining up in the wide receiver position. Is he going to do more wide receiver stuff? A lot of the stuff that they did in practice was because of the simple fact that we had some wide receivers outside of Amari Cooper. There's some other guys that had nicks and dings and bumps and stuff. So they kept them out of practice. So, basically Tony Pollard was just playing cleanup with that. But there is some, where they say where there's smoke and there's fire, right? So in the instance, he really made it upon himself to do some things. Like, you can do a lot of different things with Tony Pollard instead of just running, passing the ball out the backfield. You can definitely get some chunk yardage out of this guy this year. And I think that the way they use Tony Pollard this year, the sky's the limits. So, we got a lot of weapons on offense. I'm not really worried about offense, but I'm still excited to see them all out there and do their thing. I'm excited to see our quarterback back. I'm just optimistic about the future of this team as far as, going forward. But I love when Cowboys have low expectations going into the year, because normally on years where they have low expectations, that's when they do better. So we'll see what happens. All these talking heads hating and stuff like that, but let them hate. Let them hate. Y'all know me. I ain't no hater. But it is what it is. So thanks again, guys, for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Now, real quick, those of you that, and I noticed this late. I don't know why I didn't notice before, but because some of you have come to me and sent me a message that you didn't get my notifications. Guys, listen up. If you're already subscribed to the channel, awesome. Make sure you go back when you look at this video. Go back to where the subscribe button is. Go to the right where the notification bell is. Tap the bell and make sure that you get all of the notifications, because it says all, personalized, and none. So, like, if you don't want the notifications, which I don't know why you wouldn't want the notifications, but the notifications, there's a none category, there's a personalized category where you can get some or however you want to do it, and then there's all. So click that all so you're not missing any content, you're not missing my live streams. So that way when you guys are here, you're here. So and those of you that are just watching the video for the first time, if you subscribe, same thing. Hit the bell, make sure you tap all, because YouTube keeps changing stuff all the time, so it's just like, it's so confusing, and they don't tell you either. So anyway, that's all I got for today. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section about this team this year, how they're gonna do, how they did in OTAs and mini camp, and let's get ready for training camp, guys, and preseason, and let's have an awesome football year. It's your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real. Deuce.